Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you, wherever and whenever you are joining us. Welcome to our latest edition of What Caught My Eye, or WCME Sports. The time is 8:11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday, May 26, 2026. As always, I'm your host, the coach, Nick Veschi, joined by the boy, Stephen Veschi.
What up?
And the man, Stephen Komlo.
Good evening.
Now, if you're new to our show, we like to think of ourselves as the sports show for sports fans about sports. We like to focus on what happens inside the lines of competition rather than outside noise, which, oftentimes doesn't have anything to do with what's going on. Now, before we get into our show for the evening, just a reminder to follow us on all of our social media. That's on X, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, TikTok, Snapchat, and Threads at WCME_sports. Our episodes drop every Wednesday at noon on Spotify, YouTube, and iHeartRadio. And all that information can be found on our website, ucmesports.com. Now, this week, it's kind of special change up to the show here upon request by the boy, because his wife is imminently due with their second daughter. He's not going to be on the show the whole time, so he wanted to have our favorite segment go first because he was all sorts of jazzed up, I believe, saying that this is the most important thing that's ever happened to us ever with our favorite segment. So we're going to start with that first, right? Before we get into what that entails for the show, just a reminder that our favorites is brought to you, as always, by One Legacy Title and Escrow in Jacksonville, Florida. Follow them on Instagram at One Legacy Florida and visit them at onelegacyflorida.com to see how they can help you with your next house closing. One Legacy Title and Escrow, because your legacy matters. This week, we went with a very new and interesting idea, which had us all jazzed up, and it was our own football roster if the roster were made of animals. As in, what animal would you want to be playing quarterback? What animal halfback, wide receiver, defensive end, that type of thing. And so before we get into our rosters, just a caveat, for this exercise, we did only land animals. Right, so no birds, nothing that's flying, nothing in the water. So no, whales or sharks.
Four-legged land animals.
Just like us.
Well, I guess it should. I guess not really. No, not. I take that back. These are just land animals.
Yes, land animals. Right. I assume the boy would like to go first.
Yeah, I'll go first. I was going to
say, do you want to go first or do you want to go last? This is like your baby.
That's a good point.
Up to you.
5 seconds.
Komlo, go first.
Okay, I'll go first. As always,
Clock.
when we do these fancy, fun roster type lists, I always go the extra mile, and so I have a little float chart.
There we go. Oh my goodness.
Animal
stickers.
Animal Kingdom football roster. All right, so we're starting at offense. I went with the Gray Wolf. Gray Wolf at QB. I think this is a very leadership oriented animal. I like its vision. I like its strategy. I gotta have the Gray Wolf under center. For running back, it's a no brainer. I went with a cheetah. I mean, I think that just makes the most sense. Fullback, I went with a water buffalo.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
It's just maybe if we get the chance, we'll post something on our socials or something, or maybe we'll find a way to edit in the original picture. I thought the original roster that we used as the template for this was top tier. I think there wasn't a whole lot I wanted to change outside of like our rules for no birds, no water breathers. So anyway, so water buffalo at the fullback position. Wide receiver 1, give me the Puma. The Puma has one of the highest vertical jumps of any land animal. And also just look at that.
It's a good choice.
That is a muscle. That is a muscle unit right there. Look at that bad boy. A wide receiver 2. I want long arms. Give me the orangutan. Just look at that behemoth. Slot receiver, I went with the chimp. Great hands. Great hands out of the chimp. A little smaller so it can zip in and out. I like the way the chimp would fit into the slot. Tight end, I want the gorilla. Not unlike future Hall of Fame tight end Rob Gronkowski. This guy's going to be able to block, catch, run, score. So that's how my offense shapes up from the QB to the tight end. O-line. At left tackle, I want the hippo. Give me the hippo at left tackle. You're not getting by a hippo. Left guard, I want the
deceptively quick. By the way, in athletic, that should be known as a reason why that could be a tackle, because tackles themselves are extremely athletic.
Yeah, it's also one of the most dangerous animals on the planet.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. At left guard, I want the Clydesdale. Give me the Clydesdale at left guard. I really like that play there. For center, I thought about what a lot of like Hall of Fame and all-time centers look like. American Bison.
I like that choice.
We're plugging the holes right there in the middle. Give me the Bison. Right guard, I want the Bighorn Sheep. Bighorn Sheep. You are gonna struggle to push that son of a gun back.
I like the Bighorn Sheep. I think I would have swapped him to the fullback and taken your Buffalo. So your two Buffaloes play side by side. I think the chemistry would have been there.
Yeah, there would have been some chemistry, that's for sure. And then at right tackle, give me the Black Bear. The Black Bear.
Interesting. The smallest of the bears.
Which bear is best?
Yeah, well, this bad boy was able to stop a pickup truck at speed.
At 60 miles an hour downhill. Boom.
Dead stop. Yeah. So
that thing.
I like my
that
play
thing
here.
is a boulder.
I knew you were going to say something, so I had that locked and loaded. I was so ready. Let's swing things to the defensive side of the ball. D-line on the edge. I need a Sumatran tiger. Need the Sumatran tiger on the edge. Quick, agile, going to be able to zigzag, get in and out. Defensive tackle, I want the Grizz. Give me the Grizz. Okay. Particularly a Mama Grizz, if possible. I want the Mama Grizz. Nose tackle. Give me the Rhino. Give me the Rhino at nose tackle. This was something that was also in the original pamphlet or picture that you sent us. I really like that play. Also, it fits, right? It's kind of punny as well. Nose tackle, rhinoplasty, Rhino, big horn. Yeah.
Now it makes it sound like if you didn't have a Rhino at nose tackle, you weren't thinking straight.
Yeah, you lost the plot. And then other edge, I got a Warthog. I like Warthog. Yeah. Big difference from Warthog and Wild Boar, by the way. I just need to preface that.
Is there?
Yes, a Warthog is much bigger.
Yes.
Warthog's that much bigger than a Wild Boar?
Yeah, and Wild Boar doesn't have all of these tusks.
The tusks. But speed-wise...
This thing's got to survive in the plains of Africa. This thing's going to be quick.
Speed has everything.
Yeah, this ain't no bushwhacker, okay? Linebackers at the mic. I need the Lioness. I like
the Lioness move. I like it. I thought about it.
A little more cerebral. You get a little more effort, and I do think that there's a lot more strategy when it comes to a Lioness versus a male lion.
I think the Lioness fits the modern defense better.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Right? It's quicker.
At the Willy, I need a snow leopard. Give me a snow leopard on the weak side. Strong side, I want Black Panther. Okay, it's got to be a Black Panther.
But isn't a Black Panther just a jaguar whose hue?
It's actually a leopard.
Is that it?
Yeah.
No, you can. No, you can have
a jaguar or a leopard.
Or a leopard. Yes, but just sit there. It's not a panther. It's one of those where it's like its hue is.
That's the Black Panther.
Like the opposite of albinism.
That's the Black Panther.
It's correct. It's like a mutation with the melanin in the spots.
That's it.
Become all black.
Listen here, Prince Njobu. This is the Black Panther.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's in Africa, it's a leopard. If it's in South America, it's a jaguar.
Yes.
Moving on. Cornerback. I want the fox squirrel.
It's like, what the fuck is that?
Fox squirrel.
Is that the Pinehurst squirrel?
Yeah. The ever elusive, quick, evasive fox squirrel. Quarterback 2. Give me the giraffe. Who's catching something over this? I don't care if it has the highest vertical jump. You're not catching something over the Eiffel Tower. Give me that. Plus, imagine getting jammed off the line with a big old Neck flap, no sir, not happening. Not in Giraffe's house. And then nickel, I want the fox. I want the fox and the nickel. A free safety, give me the baboon. Strong safety, I want the badger.
Okay.
Okay.
I like the baboon play. Yeah.
I was also, the second I clipped this, I spent a lot of time wondering, where's Nick plugging the badger in? Because
I think that's true.
Nick's gonna have one.
He's gonna have a badger. It's got to be on defense, though.
Moving on to special teams, you've heard the phrase "it kicks like a mule." I want the mule at kicker.
Is that an ibex?
I have said mule kick multiple times. I think today.
Mule kick, donkey punch, whatever you want to call
We're
it.
about to get mule kicked.
Yeah. Give me the mule at kicker. Punter, give me the kangaroo. I believe the original template had kangaroo at kicker. I like this as the punter. I feel like they're natural drop kickers. Okay.
Well, yeah, and they're Australian.
All
the Australian rules, football punters.
And then for returner, give me the ibex.
I was about to say, I thought that was an ibex.
I want an ibex. I thought about going impala antelope, but I like the ibex a little better. You're able to tuck the chin, get down, and plow forward and move the chains. That's my roster. I'm pretty happy with it. It took so long to do this, so please be kind and say nice things. I'll hang up and listen.
Interesting. All right, yeah, not bad.
Do you want me to go or you, boy?
Yeah, Nick, you go.
All right.
I'm gonna tear you guys up.
Okay.
Tear you up.
All right. On offense, starting with my quarterback, I went with the chimpanzee, the second most intelligent animal in the world behind humans. Also, it probably has the best ability of any animal to sling the rock. So, chimpanzee is as my QB. My running back is a horse. Horses are one of the fastest land animals out there, by the way, and they're also big. So you're going to have a hard time taking. Yeah, you're going to have a hard time taking the horse down. My fullback is a wildebeest, very similar to Komlo's water buffalo, but it is different, right, boy? Like it's not the same.
No,
thing.
Very different.
I think a wildebeest is faster, which I think is why I put that. It's not as big.
It's a little leaner. Yeah, it's a little leaner,
but it's a little faster. So it's but same kind of idea as Komlo had. Like those things are built strong.
Yeah.
Very strong up here, which is what you want from your fullback. My wide receiver 1 is a cheetah, right? I take the top off the defense type of thing.
Yep.
Wide receiver 2 is, this is for you, boy, a pronghorn.
Ooh, yep, like it.
Pronghorn, I believe, is the fastest land animal in North America.
It is. That's correct. And I had to look this up because I always thought a Thompson's gazelle was the second fastest land animal. It's actually a pronghorn. Yeah.
So that's my wide receiver 2. My wide receiver 3 is an African wild dog, or my slot receiver, which is its own species. It's completely different from like a domesticated dog or a wolf or a jackal or any of those things. African wild dog.
Called the painted wolf.
Yeah, they're pretty smart, crafty, but also big and physical enough that they wouldn't get knocked around. My tight end is a jaguar. Jaguars are built very stocky, right? So they have the ability to block, but they also are incredibly athletic. So they have the ability to run routes and pass. My tight ends have to be able to block. Don't give me a tight end that can't block. Mine have to. My left tackle is a grizzly bear. It's one of the most athletic animals in the world, I would say. Those things are very fast. They are aggressive, which I want. Pretty much all of the animals I had here are aggressive on the offensive line, which I want. My left guard is a rhino for a lot of the same reasons. I want that Mauler. I want that Quentin Nelson at my guard. My center is a gorilla, one of the most intelligent animals out there. And again, I have that my QB is a chimpanzee, is the second most intelligent animal. A gorilla, my center, so are extremely intelligent. So they're working in cohesion very similarly to Jeff Saturday and Peyton Manning type of thing, where my 2 smartest players out there are the center and the QB, who are responsible for everything, which helps kind of clear up things for the assignments for everyone. My right guard is a buffalo or bison, American bison, if you will. I wanted that there for the pulling aspect. Your right guard normally pulls a lot more. So I wanted its speed, and athleticism, and strength to be on the outside pulling. And then my right tackle, I thought, like Lane Johnson, I went with elephant, a road grader. out there, who's out there just pounding skulls, cave in the whole side of the defensive line if you wanted to run over there. May not necessarily be the best in pass blocking because, it doesn't have that lateral or depth quickness, but that elephant at my right tackle.
Yeah.
On defense, I did a 4-3, which 4-3. I hate 3-4s. I prefer 4-3s.
I like the 3-4s.
I want to have more people with their hand in the ground, to be honest with you, because I think it's harder to block it. Anywho, my first defensive end is a Puma. For a lot of what Komlo said, it's got that lean athleticism, but it's very strong. So I wanted that speed guy on the edge who can take on blocks, but can get around slower offensive linemen with ease. My other D end, like Komlo, had Tiger. I think it fits the profile.
I think
of
that's
it.
like everyone has the Tiger there. That is like the perfect fit for the Tiger.
Yes.
Yeah, it could do a Myles Garrett share of work, where it can do everything you want out of a defensive end and
Myles
is aggressive.
Garrett could do a Tiger share.
Which Tiger are you going with?
Bengal, Sumatran.
I'll go with the Bengal
Siberian.
Tiger.
Okay, Siberian.
Ooh,
Yeah, Siberian could be good.
Well, I'll go with the Bengal Tiger just for football's sake, continuity's sake.
Okay.
My first D tackle is a polar bear. I believe the largest land predator in the world, right, boy?
That's correct.
Polar bear, I want that aggressive, that size, because they're also deceptive. Again, they're the largest land predator in the world. No other predator on Earth is bigger on the ground, is bigger than a polar bear. And a lot of people don't realize that. So they're huge, aggressive, strong, quick, agile. So polar bear, give me that as the one D tackle. And the other D tackle, for a lot of the same reasons, is the hippo, right? Very quick, stout, strong. You're not going to push them. They have the ability to rush the passer in multiple different ways. I would think a hippo could. So hippo, polar bear, those are my D tackles. Just like Komlo, my will or weak side linebacker is a snow leopard.
Hell yeah.
The same for a lot of the same reasons. It's cunning. It's crafty. It's able to adapt to different environments, but it's also lurking. Right? I feel like I want that one to be lurking there. Like that's the one you forget to block, right? My middle linebacker, is a hyena. Hyenas are deceptively intelligent, believe it or not. And they're they're aggressive, they're strong, they're big, they're fast. They're like their own species. They're feliform, meaning like they would go into like the feline section, but so much of their other traits are canine. So they don't really know where to classify them. They're kind of their own thing, which is, I think, very cool.
Their back legs are actually shorter than their front, which is odd for any predator. I think it's like the only predator that's like that, or like mammalian predator that's like that. They're not a dog, they're not a cat. Their back legs are actually shorter than their front.
They're
so it's angled.
Half man, half dog. I'm my own best friend. But hyenas, another thing with them, predator-wise, felines, I believe you might know this, when they attack prey, it's claws out, and they bring it down and then go with that. But like canines, I believe it's jaws first.
Yeah.
Hyenas hunt canine way with the jaws first, which is interesting.
They also have one of the strongest jaws in the animal world.
Yes.
Kingdom.
My Sam, I think Komlo had this too, lion. A strong side linebacker.
Lion. I had lioness as my Mike. Sam was a jaguar, black jaguar.
It does kind of make more sense to have the lioness there because, as the boy knows, they're the ones that do the hunting.
Male lions are lazy.
They are, but man, are they?
But they're also the intimidator.
Strong. Yeah, I kind of want the.
You love a good mane.
Yeah, I kind of want the male lion there. I feel like the rest of my defense could make up for some of his laziness, but his brute strength could win you certain plays in certain situations. My cornerback one is a caracal, Caral.
Oh yeah. Yep.
It's a cat.
It's like a mini version of a mountain lion.
Yeah, it can run up to 50 miles an hour, jump 10 feet in the air. It's native to Africa, Middle East, Central Asia, and parts of Pakistan and India. It's got whatever the tuft ears, kind of like a lynx, but it's, I believe, much bigger than a lynx. So the caracal as my cornerback one. My cornerback two is a kite.
Position, we have the caracal lurking in the backfield.
Thank you, David Attenborough.
Yeah, it's David Attenborough.
Thank you.
My Other cornerback, I have a Coyote. Right?
Ooh, yeah.
Crafty, deceptively fast. They're strong for their size. And crafty.
I
to
thought
be able
about
to
putting the
cover.
Coyote at QB.
My nickel corner. So my third corner is a Lynx for a lot of the same type of things, right? That nickel corner is probably guarding your slot receiver, so you want it to be a little quicker. It's not going to be as big, able to fit in small areas, but still want to be aggressive, be able to come and make tackles when needed, especially on crucial third downs. I feel like a Lynx could do that. My free safety, I have a Wolverine, and my strong safety, I have a Wolf.
Badge.
And
Okay.
that's where I feel like my strength of my defense is there, believe it or not, because they're both like you got that free safety who's kind of roaming. They're the roamer, the honey badger himself, Tyrann Mathieu, your whatever, Earl Thomas, I think was free safety, Ed Reed free safety, Palomalu would have been free safety. So I like the Wolverine there with its aggressiveness. And then your strong safety, your Brian Dawkins, if you will. I feel like if you were to compare Brian Dawkins to an animal, it would be a wolf, right? And so you want that wolf there as the kind of the ideal of the wolf pack, right? It's coming up to complete the play, finish the charge, rally the troops from the back end. So when all hope is lost, the wolf is there to take a stand and get everyone back into it and clean things up. So I had wolf as my strong safety, my John Lynch, Brian Dawkins, if you will. On special teams, my kicker is a zebra. Zebras, I believe, have the strongest kick of any animal on Earth that they've measured.
Interesting.
Which is interesting. Okay. My punter is a giraffe. Giraffes have one of the strongest kicks as well, might even be second strongest. And I think the interesting thing with the giraffe is their kick, they can kick in like any direction. So like with a zebra, it has to be like your typical mule kick, like rear and back and kick with the hind legs. I believe a giraffe can like kick forward and sideways and back with a relatively the same amount of strength. So I thought that was necessary for a punter because you're having to get the ball off sometimes in different angles and in situations. So giraffe is my punter. My punt returner is a jackrabbit, little scat. You try to catch him, right? Get the ball, get down, get out of bounds before you get eaten. My kick returner is an onager, also known as an Asiatic wild ass. It's native to the Middle East, Central Asia, Northern China, and Mongolia.
Just wanted to put that in there.
It weighs 440 to 570 pounds and can run between 40 and 43 miles an hour. It's one of the fastest land animals, the onager or the Asiatic wild ass had to be on there. My long snapper is a baboon. Going with kind of the same idea with whoever's handling the snaps, I want them to be smart. Baboons are very intelligent. And I would think the baboon is coordinated enough to get the snaps down and can also cover downfield. In my designated special teamer, my Matthew Slater, if you will, the player who I think would most exemplify a Bill Belichick player is the Badger.
Yeah. He had to make up another position.
Yeah. Leave it to Nick. Well, we knew the Badger was going to be in there somewhere. We knew it.
I feel like it's the perfect special teamer. Just hungry, underestimated, cunning.
Honey Badger
will find a way to get through a double team as a gunner and make a play for you. Is willing to block punts and things. I feel like that's the Badger, right? So, again, the animal that would exemplify the most of a Bill Belichick player, to me, is a Badger. So that is my list.
Good list, Nick. All right, Stevie, bring it home. This is your baby.
All right. Yeah, let me show you how it's done. We'll start with the offense like you guys did. Komlo, I did the same quarterback as you, the Gray Wolf. I did think about the chimpanzee and I thought about the coyote. The chimpanzee didn't give me enough dual threat ability. The coyote I thought was really, really good, but I thought the Gray Wolf was going to give me the ultimate leader. I need my leader. I need the person. I need the animal that gets people in the right position, understands coverages, and is the team first. So the Gray Wolf is going there at QB. My running back, I'm different from you guys. I actually went with the Snow Leopard at the running back position.
It's fair.
It has the best contact balance in the world. It's explosive and it's very patient. I think it fits the mold for my running back that I really want. My fullback, I'm going with the American Bison. Tone setter, downhill, and seeking contact.
Mm-hmm.
That's who I want hitting the hole first.
You want the
my tight end
yards after contact.
Oh, I thought you meant
contact.
YAK.
Oh, it actually
They-
would be a good
See,
fullback.
you guys are missing all the good puns here. All the good
A
puns.
yak would
But
be a good
that's why
fullback.
I'm here. That's why I'm here.
My tight end, I'm going with the orangutan. Long arms, versatile and smart, surprisingly powerful. Orangutans are very, very strong and a great red zone threat with those long arms.
Mm.
So orangutan in the tight end spot. My left tackle, I'm going with the elephant. I think the elephant, the size, strength, length, and intelligence. I believe you built a left tackle in a lab. The African elephant would be the perfect left tackle. Left guard, Nick, I have the same left guard as you. The rhino. I need the road grader. Nasty, an absolute bully, but it can struggle with its lateral quickness and pass pro.
Mhm.
But we're going to be running down the left side. Gorilla as my center as well. Smart, tough, strong, plays with great base, and can diagnose defenses. My right guard, I have a bull. I believe that was also in the template that we had.
Yes,
I
was.
thought the bull was perfect there. Brings an attitude, not the quickest first step, but never stops the legs. My right tackle, which was also in this, the moose. I love the moose at the right tackle. If you've never seen a moose, they are absolutely massive. And I like,
Yeah, they're huge.
according to Outdoor Boys, if you're on a track and a moose is on it, it will kill you before the moose gets off the track.
Yes.
Like, you need to leave, or that moose will literally kill you because you're in its way.
There are places in like Alaska where people will like stick their phones out their door and like use the camera to like peek the corner to make sure that there isn't like a moose in their front yard, like up against their house, because it is a very dangerous and aggressive animal.
Yeah, it's huge. I saw one running through.
Did you also kill that one with your truck?
No, that would have killed me.
Mm.
The black bear didn't kill me. It set off all the airbags.
Totaled the car.
It didn't kill me. It totaled the car. The moose would have killed me.
Yeah.
Just a
I saw a
regal
moose running
creature.
through. I think it was Montana or Wyoming, and it was just running through a field. I was like, holy shit! I did not know they were this big.
Oh, they're huge, dude. Like they're
Absolutely huge.
Yeah, they're massive. We used to see them in Colorado all the time. They're fucking awesome.
Yeah. So that's my line. I think it's a great line. Elephant, rhino, gorilla, bull, moose. Wide receiver 1, I'm going with cheetah. Speed, and more speed. Home run threat every
Mhm.
time.
Just hit the scene
Wide
and
receiver,
go.
exact. Wide receiver 2, Mustang. Again,
Ooh.
Nick, you said a horse are some of the fastest
does-
land
yeah.
animals on earth. The Mustang, big body wide receiver, great positional size and strength, and it's great in the run game. I need my receivers to be able to block. My slot, I'm going with the Lynx. Elite short area quickness, can find the open zone. Let's go to the defensive side. This is where I built my defense first
Okay.
and then built my offense. I'm a very defensive first person.
I did that
Smart.
as well.
Smart.
Yeah. I'm going with the Bengal Tiger as my right outside linebacker. I did a 3-4, by the way. I know you guys did 4-3s. I did a 3-4. I'm doing my right outside linebacker is the Bengal Tiger. Elite size and athleticism. The tiger, if you didn't notice, is the largest of the cats. It's stealthy and violent, and it's the best athlete in the world. So, best athlete on the field is going to be your Bengal Tiger.
Nice.
My left outside linebacker, I'm going with the leopard. Pound for pound, one of the strongest athletes on the field, can rush and drop into coverage with an explosive first step
And it's also Jeffrey's favorite animal.
because of the spots. As if I wasn't going to go with the leopard. I think the leopard is an underrated predator.
Yeah.
It doesn't get the
It's
credit of
overshadowed.
the other big cats.
Yes, it
Is
gets
it because
it
it's
gets
the
overshadowed.
smallest of the big cats?
It is the smallest of the big cats. Like, actually, a mountain lion is bigger than a leopard, but a mountain lion's not considered a big cat because it's head size. Fun fact about the panther,
Head size
puma,
relative to
catamount.
body, or
Yes, relative to body. So a mountain lion's head size is too small to be considered a big cat, even though its like actual size is larger than a leopard and some jaguars. All right, here we go. Defensive line. This is my favorite part. Got to build it up front in the trenches. I'm going with one of my DTs as a grizzly bear. Violent hands and powerful. Once it gets his hands on you, it's over.
Yeah. I mean,
It's the reason why it's called a bear hug.
yeah. I mean, It's not even there. It's a lot of most guns aren't strong enough to bring down a Grizz. Like, remember the Great Outdoors with John Candy, just racking that thing with a 12 gauge, and the thing was still coming at him.
My other defensive tackle, polar bear, the deadliest and strongest bear on earth, elite length and strength. Like once that polar bear stands up too, good luck getting a pass over him. My nose tackle, I went with the hippo here. I think the hippo is the perfect nose tackle because, like you said, Nick, it's quick, but it's huge and it's absolutely nasty.
You're not moving
Nastiest
that thing.
animal on the planet, sets the tone, anchor on your defense. My middle linebacker, one of my middle linebackers, I'm going with the male lion. I think it's a throwback linebacker, a leader and intimidating. I'm saying this is your Ray Lewis. This is I'm hitting you as hard as I possibly can.
You're Chuck Bednarik. You're
yeah.
Like if Ditka were a linebacker,
Dick Butkus.
Yep.
Yes, this
Just
is your
all those
throwback.
guys.
I get like the lioness would fit the modern era of defenses better, but I need a throwback.
Mike Singletary.
Yeah,
It's
Mike
fair.
Singletary, exactly. I need someone coming over the middle and getting destroyed. This is a man's game, boy. This is a man's game.
Yeah, get off the
That's what
fucking field.
I feel like the male lion would be talking trash too the whole time.
Oh yeah, it's king of the fucking jungle.
Exactly.
Even though it doesn't live in the jungle.
Yeah, that always bothered me is that why is the tiger not the king of the jungle? The tiger actually lives in a jungle.
Well, the jungle is where you make it. You know, well,
Okay.
you're in the jungle, baby.
I
You're
agree.
gonna die.
Hakuna Matata.
Yeah, get on your shot.
My other linebacker. Yeah, my other linebacker is a Jaguar. I think we all had Jaguars on our team. It's stocky, quick, lethal, and creative. I don't know if you've ever seen a Jaguar take down a croc. It's pretty sweet.
It's like the Mookie Betts of just animals, right? You could plug a Jaguar in anywhere and you're going to get results.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I would say you could probably put it in any position. So that maybe corner.
Yeah, true. My free safety, I'm going with the African wild dog, aka the painted wolf. They're actually nature's most efficient hunter. It's a team player and it's smart. They run in packs of like 40. Like the packs that are insanely big. They're able to take down your wildebeests and your Cape buffaloes because of their strength in numbers. They're really, really smart and relentless. I think it's that perfect, like the size of the African wild dog sitting there at the free safety, I think is perfect.
They never get talked about either.
They don't. It's Africa. They're in a land of plenty there with the apex predators. Your strong safety, hyena. I'm going with the hyena at the strong safety.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Think Bob Sanders. Relentless, nasty, hard hitting.
Free safety?
Bob Sanders, I don't know, but he hit harder than anyone. I think he might be the hardest hitting safety that's ever walked on this earth, man.
Fair. I'm not going to argue with you.
Sean Taylor?
Ronnie Lott.
Yeah, not going to argue with you.
One of those, John Lynch. And the hyena, I think we didn't mention this before, they clean up the misses. They're one of the best scavengers on the planet. So hyena is a strong safety. My cornerbacks, I have the Thompson's Gazelle. Again, elite speed and quickness. My other one is the pronghorn. So I went with the antelopes there.
Yeah.
I don't think a pronghorn is an antelope. I think that's like a misconception.
Might be its own thing.
Yeah, because like technically a wildebeest is an antelope, a gazelle, an impala. Those are all antelopes.
Pronghorn is a subspecies of antelope.
Is it?
Thank you. There we go. I think as I wanted to get as much speed there at corner. In my nickel hybrid, I actually think the Badger is the perfect one for this. In my defense, the Badger is because I want my nickels. Like I have them. That's why I have it as a hybrid because I want them playing in the box a little bit. I want them bouncing around, right? I want them a little more like Palomalu.
Yeah.
By the way, Komlo, this says though not an antelope, it is known colloquially in North America as the American antelope. So
it's part of the antelope genus. It's Antelope capra.
It's not an antelope.
It's Latin. What's its Latin name?
Antelope capra.
Capra americana.
American antelope.
Just because it's called that doesn't make it an antelope.
I disagree. My punter kangaroo.
No, that the antelope capra contains only a single living species, the pronghorn.
Okay.
It's not an
Anyway,
antelope.
whatever.
All right,
Pronghorn
Nick gets to be
as a
right.
corner.
Keep going.
All right.
Got any more asses in there?
No, I have a kangaroo as my punter because of the Australian connection. Because every great punter's Australian now.
And kangaroos
kicker,
are
I have an
deceptively
ostrich.
fast too.
Yes, so you can fake a punt
Well,
my
those
kicker has an
Australian rules
ostrich.
punters are fast too because
because they play rugby or Australian rules football.
Yes. Also, an ostrich boy is a bird.
It's a flightless bird though.
It's a flightless bird, but it still would be part of the avian circle, would it not?
I can't use a flightless bird.
I'm not gonna.
I'll
I'm
allow
not gonna.
it.
I'm not gonna nickel you. It's not worth
I
it.
thought you
not
said
worth
no
the,
air.
Not worth the energy.
Yeah, it's a flightless bird. It can't fly as much as a penguin.
Would you be more inclined to
could you
include it
put
in your
penguin?
bird list or your land animal list?
No, bird. I would put it in bird. It's a bird.
The whole reason for not picking birds though was because you didn't want to. Oh, well, if you threw a bird there, then you just there's no
Then it's
counter
in
for
the
a
air.
bird.
Correct, but you can't just make the exception and be like, well, it's the one bird that doesn't, one of the only couple that doesn't fly, so we'll include it. No, if you're gonna say no avian creatures,
Fine, give me a donkey
God.
in that spot. Then
An
give me the
ass.
donkey because you're an ass.
Why are
Jeez.
you going against Stevie's list like this? Like, what the fuck did he do to you?
Kevin Bacon wasn't in Footloose.
No,
Jesus.
Kevin Bacon
my
wasn't
kick
in
returner,
Footloose.
kick returner / punt returner. I have an Arctic hare.
Nice. That's a good one.
Isn't that similar to a
shit,
jackrabbit?
Yeah, very. I mean, they're basically
same
they're both
idea.
rabbits.
They're
It's the same
hares.
idea. Yeah.
They're hares. Yeah.
Yes. So that's my list. I think I wouldn't change a damn thing except for the ostrich.
But you wouldn't
But-
change that if you had it your way.
If I had it my way, yeah, correct. I wouldn't change it. So I think that's as good as I'm ever gonna make an animal list.
Mm-hmm. I think
It
if I
gives
had to
you
change
freedom.
one thing, I completely overlooked elephant. Don't have an elephant
Yeah.
on my team, and I feel like that's just a lot of real estate that I'm leaving open.
Yeah,
I would go back and
wanted
find a way to get the elephant off the bench and into the game.
Yeah, I wanted a coyote and a mountain lion are the two that I really wanted to get on there, and I didn't. I felt like they were just like on the second level. Like they're the too deep, right? They're
Mhm.
my backups.
Fair. That was fun.
Yes.
Mhm.
That was fun.
Mhm.
You need to do that. All right.
All right, everybody, wave bye to Stevie. He's gonna Pat McCrory this. I didn't prepare for the rest of the show, so
I
I'm
didn't
out.
prepare for the rest of the show. I can go pack a hospital bag.
Mm.
Yeah, I was gonna say while he goes on paternity leave.
Good luck, buddy.
Yes, best of luck, everyone. All right.
All right, now we
Thank
can do
God
the real
he's
show.
gone. Yeah.
The show
Jackass
goes on.
putting an ostrich on there. It's a fucking bird.
You're such a dick for going at
Shut up, D,
that.
you bird. Dennis, I was thinking fish recently because their eyes are so far apart.
That was
Alright,
a fun little exercise, though.
Yes, it was. It allowed your brain to think in different ways because you are coming up with solutions to a problem that doesn't exist, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, why is no one else talking about this stuff?
I know it should be the number one thing on Sports
Yeah,
Center tomorrow.
For real.
Is where do you have your Asiatic wild ass? And
God, they're always looking for an excuse to talk about football too on ESPN.
That's why it'd be perfect for
we
it.
were getting live updates on Aaron Rodgers' darkness retreat a couple of years ago. They're itching for football around
Instead
the
of
clock.
talking about the 7 walk-off home runs from Major League Baseball or the sudden death hockey overtime goal,
Mhm.
we'll make sure we talk about the football. So you're right.
We'll put
it'd
it in
be
the top
perfect
10
for
at the bottom of the
ESPN.
hour.
No, we'll put it second. First thing we'll talk about will be something, whatever was on our network. And then the second thing will be our animal football.
Yeah, we'll get it in the B block.
Yes.
Or I'm not going on.
No. All right, so we're going to shift gears here, go to our top catch, our main thing, which we would have normally started the show with. This week, for our top catch, we went with the New York Knicks. We went with them last week, 2 weeks ago, I believe, when Doug was on. And we're going with them again because they're on a heater of heaters. Legendary, historical run for the franchise. In a lot of ways, NBA history, it's one of the all-time runs at this point, or at least this far through a playoffs or a postseason. So, for the first time since 1999, right? So not even the previous century. For the first time since 1999, the Knicks have reached the NBA Finals with their sweep of the Cleveland Cavaliers in the Eastern Conference Finals, defeating the Cavs in Game 4, 130-93. I think their largest at one point was like 45. I saw.
Yeah,
It
absolute trouncing.
And the best thing is, I don't think they had a single player score over 20 points.
The Knicks?
The Knicks. The Knicks kicked the shit out of them. I think their leading score had 17 points.
19. Cat had 19.
19 and 14 rebounds, something like that. And then you had like a slew of guys with like 17, 15.
He was 3 for 3 from 3-point too. Love that from Cat.
Since winning the NBA title in 1973, this is just the third trip to the finals for the Knicks. They lost the other 2 times in 7 games to Houston in 94 and in 5 games to San Antonio in 1999. New York is the first team in NBA history with 3 series-clinching wins of 20 points or more in a single postseason. So when they've had chances to close you out, they not just close you out; they end you. They take your will, your soul, your pride.
Yeah.
The Knicks are on an 11-game win streak, all contained in this postseason. It's only happened 3 other times that a team has in NBA history gone an 11-game or more win streak in a single postseason. The last time it happened was in 2017 when Golden State won the finals, I think, for the second time in 3 years. The Knicks' average margin of victory so far this postseason has been 23.7 points. So it's not like they're, and that is not so disrespectful to Miami of Ohio, their basketball run that they had this year, fantastic run. They had a lot of games that were close that they found ways to win. The Knicks did winning games where by halftime it's done, and then they just step on the throat and it's over. Jalen Brunson was
their whole team is getting meaningful minutes pretty much. I mean, there's a couple guys who didn't hit double digits in minutes, but I mean they're using everybody. And in this game
because
in
they're
particular,
up so much.
Yeah, in game 4, I mean everyone was positive point differential. It's insane. Absolutely insane. Even the guys that are coming off the bench are outscoring the Cavs.
Yes.
Which is nuts.
Jalen Brunson was named conference finals MVP after he averaged 25.5 points and 7.8 assists in the 4 games. And head coach Mike Brown, who has been one of the best coaches in the NBA really for the last 20, 25 years.
100%.
Does not get the respect he deserves.
No.
Because he's always been brought in. A lot of situations he's been brought in to turn things around. Like some garbage situation. And now they've made the playoffs for 3 straight years. Right. But Mike Brown, this is the first time he's returned to the NBA Finals as a head coach since he took the Cleveland Cavaliers there in 2007. Almost 20 years between NBA Finals for Mike Brown, who, again, has been one of the best coaches in the world, in my opinion.
The great fixer.
25 years, essentially, at this point, or close to that. So, pretty amazing stuff here from the Knickerbockers. They've got their celebrity fan base going, all that hype train for what it's worth for the NBA. But
Tracy
you've got
Morgan,
all that,
Spike Lee, Timothy Chalamet,
and his whatever Jenner he's dating.
Yeah,
Mariska Hargitay, Ben Stiller.
Yeah, Ben Stiller was there.
John McEnroe, we can't forget him.
Yeah.
Johnny Mac loves the Knicks.
What kind of fucking call is that? You're a fucking disgrace.
Right, so it is pretty magical stuff that's happening, right? That people essentially rioted in New York, which is not anything new if you've watched the news. But
I mean, this is a big deal.
This time,
outside of our New York Atlas, this is the first time a New York team has had a chance. I mean, outside of the Yankees, I guess, but I mean,
no,
this is a real shot.
The Liberty won,
true,
a couple years ago, and that I think was like the first championship a New York team had won since like the Giants, I think, when they beat the Patriots the second time. The Yankees haven't won since 2009. The Rangers haven't won since 94. The Islanders haven't won since the 80s. I mean, the Devils don't count because it's New Jersey, right? And even then, 25 years since they won, I think. The Atlas, we brought them up before you brought them up. They're technically like not even based in New York City. I think they're
Yeah.
more like supposed to be like New York State Atlas, so like
Yeah.
upstate, where you have that going, or even like Long Island, which is a huge lacrosse hub. So
But I
the
think
Nets haven't won, I think, ever. So it's like the Knicks have a chance to do something. Obviously, the Jets have been god awful, right? The Knicks have a chance to do something that is extremely meaningful, really, in the sports world because
it's
of
New
the fact
York.
of one, you got the biggest city in our country, whether you like them, like the people that from there or not, or like the teams from there or not. The biggest city with the most sports teams, the city that's most tied to sports, not just because of the most sports teams, but because it's embedded in the culture so much. It's to the point where, right, the Yankees started their own channel. There's a whole Gotham Sports Network. You have SNY. You have so many different sports channels that broadcast games because there's so many teams. It's so embedded in the culture, and the fact that the franchises there have been extremely lacking, right? And as we know, it's the hardest place to play. It's the most pressure
Yes.
because the fan bases are the most knowledgeable, the most passionate. There's the most pressure to win.
And
You're
it's some of the
generating the most
oldest
revenue, which is why there's so
franchises.
much. Which is why there's so much pressure. But they're also, like I said, marquee franchises, right? These are some of the original the names that you think of, right? And so the Knicks fit that, and the Knicks, just like all the other New York teams, really haven't had the success to go with it, right? And so, I mean, bring up the Mets, God,
Yeah.
but if the Knicks were to win, I think it would be a tremendous story. It'd be great for basketball, I believe, if they were to win.
Yes.
You worry about the fact that they might have a lot of time off, and they're on such a heater. You may not want that time off.
We said that
Because
going into this series, though, didn't we?
Yeah, but it's different.
Yeah.
Cleveland
it's
and
the
Detroit
final.
are different animals than the Thunder and the Spurs. Like, let's be completely honest.
100%. I don't
Right?
disagree with you
You're
at all.
talking the defending champion, and you're talking the guy who's quickly making a case to be the best player in the world, even though Jokic is still above him and SGA. But, that may be a real story to look for, is when that series gets kicked off, because whoever comes out of the West will have home court advantage. So the series will start in OKC or San Antonio for the finals. So, it's just something to look for and keep in mind, that you've got a team that will be, kind of having their heater disrupted, gonna have to travel or halfway across the country to go play a team that is probably gonna be the favorite in the finals. But I do think it is exciting, right? It's something that New York fans haven't had in a while. There's a true, especially with the Knicks too, because it's always been like a shit show. I will always say that. There's a lot of times it's been just some spectacle, and they've never really taken the time to put together winning pieces like a Josh Hart and Mikal Bridges, right? And Jalen Brunson, like those guys, Villanova guys embody winning. Like, that is embedded in their culture, is winning and how to find ways to win, and not caring that Jalen Brunson scored 15 points or whatever it was in the fourth game. Not caring. None of those guys gave a shit.
Well, that
What
was
they
also
cared
the big
about was
knock
that they
back
made the finals.
back in like 2022, and Dan Patrick opened his show today taking a call from a caller who was bringing this up. Is back in like 2022, 2023, all the major sports networks and pundits were shitting on the Knicks for paying Brunson. He's not worth
Yes.
what you're paying him. He'll never be a top scorer. He can't lead this team. And now all of them have to eat crow. I mean, Dan Patrick,
Egg on their face.
we all love DP and his contribution to the sports world and his talk show and everything that he does. He opened the show putting his hand up and said, I was wrong. And if all the other networks aren't saying the same thing, then shame on them, because nobody was giving Jalen Brunson his flowers. No one was giving him his roses. Everyone was saying he wasn't worth it. And like in the biggest sports market in the world, right? The New York Knicks, New York City, everyone thought that it was just it's just the Knicks doing Knicks shit. It's just another bust. Here we go. Same song, just different dance. And I love that Jalen Brunson gets to go to the finals now after just a monumental run in the playoffs. I mean, he is just mowing people down.
Yes.
I have
Eating their lunch.
he's been like he's been the only like one of the only reasons I've tuned into the NBA playoffs. I don't think I've ever made it a mystery that I don't enjoy the NBA and I don't particularly enjoy the NBA playoffs. But he has been so much fun to watch. And I do think that another big part of it is I think he's one of the few players who isn't falling down every time he shoots the ball. I mean, that's another thing that we need to talk about with the NBA, but I don't want to digress too much away from the New York Knicks and what they're on the precipice of. Yeah, I mean, just wow. It being Jalen Brunson right now has to be so
And
awesome just because
and
you have this massive yeah, doubt me now
yes.
mentality, right?
And I will say there are a couple moves that the front office made, not necessarily this year, but last year and the year before, when they traded essentially RJ Barrett to the Raptors for OG Anunoby, a guy who's got a little more defensive prowess than what you're going to have from Barrett, a little more athleticism. He's paid dividends, some better shooting. He's a more your 3-and-D type of guy. So that OG
Yes.
Anunoby move, brilliant. Then the other one to get Karl-Anthony Towns, they gave up a decent package to get him. Julius Randle and
People thought they
Dante
were selling their
DiVincenzo.
future to get him.
Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo are awesome. Those are great pieces. Those are great
Mhm.
players. I mean, you saw how well they did in the Wolves. I know obviously DiVincenzo suffered a terrible Achilles injury in their playoff run, but those are winning type of players. But give credit to the Knicks front office saying, you know what, the type of piece we need fits more of the Karl-Anthony Towns mold than it does
Mhm.
Reynold DiVincenzo. We'll replace some of that 3-and-D with like an Anunoby and a Landry Shamet, those types of guys, a Deuce McBride. So we'll find a replacement there, and Karl-Anthony Towns allows you to have more, I feel like more pick and roll freedom with Brunson. Not that Randall is a bad pick and roll player. He's not. He's very good.
Yes.
But I feel like Anthony Cat is a better shooter. I think that plays into it.
Yeah.
I think Cat has the ability to make quicker decisions some at times, and I think that just kind of played into the chemistry there. And feel like Karl-Anthony Towns was willing to sit there and be like, you know, I'm not option one here. I am option two, but
He's the only
I'm
player
gonna
on this score sheet that's contributing in every measurable category.
yes. Yes. So I'm
Points,
going to
rebounds,
adjust my
assists,
game.
steals, blocks, and yeah, I mean he's everywhere. He's a wonderful addition to this team, obviously.
Which was not always the case when you were talking about his Minnesota days,
No.
where he was, I don't want to say much maligned as a defender, but not really putting up defensive numbers
He
or
wasn't
things
utilized
like
as
that.
heavily, I think is
And
what we could say.
it was so heavily focused on his scoring, right? And with Brunson here, it takes it off. Even when Anthony Edwards was there, it felt like he was pressing because it was like, I have to, when he's not scoring, I have to score.
Mhm.
Whereas right now, I don't think Cat is thinking about that at all. He's thinking about what the winning play is. So, credit to the front office bringing those pieces in and making these trades, because it's not like not like these were no-brainer trades. Oh, of course they're going to make it. These were things that,
You probably
like
lost some sleep
there was
over.
some risk. There was
Yeah.
some risk involved with them.
Jobs on the line type stuff
Yeah,
too.
yes, truly, right? And then give the coaching staffs credit. I say staffs plural because
Yes.
Mike Brown's in his first year here. Tom Thibodeau and what he did before deserves the credit
Mhm.
as well. Obviously, he couldn't get them over the hump into the finals, which Mike Brown was able to do this year. But that culture was embedded there that Thibodeau created, which allowed them to hire a Mike Brown type guy. And, sometimes that gets overlooked. They go, oh, we fired this guy, so we're going to go complete opposite direction. No, their defense has been fantastic.
Yes.
And Mike Brown is, again, like I said, a fantastic coach. And, they could have, a lot of teams, again, go, oh, well, we're going to go the complete opposite of Thibodeau, who's, a hard, tough-nosed guy. We're going to go this way because that wasn't working. And the Knicks, again, to their credit, didn't do that. They built on the culture, and they just said, maybe we just need a different person calling the plays and the shots here, but not necessarily a different type of person. And so, again, for as much of a mess as the Knicks have been for a lot of the last
Lives.
20, 25 years here, for most of our lives, give them a ton of credit because for a lot of things they were like a sideshow. You
Mhm.
know, the Carmelo years, as great as Carmelo was at scoring, they were never going to do shit
No.
because he's not a winning type player. They didn't surround like the structure wasn't there to win championships. It was just there to sell tickets and make money.
Mhm.
They made the investment to bring in winning type players, winning type coaches, winning culture, which has not really been there, like you said, Kamala, for most of our lives. So kudos to the Knicks for that. I thought that was an appropriate top catch for this
Oh,
week.
well, I could not agree with you more. In fact, I was prepared to argue if we weren't in agreement that this was our top catch for this week's show because I mean, it's for all the reasons you listed, right? I'm not going to repeat everything you said, but I mean I think the fact that it's a New York team that has been not just not it, that it, it's not just the fact that they're going to the finals, it's the manner in which they got there as well, right? Like this is a statement, right? This is New York basketball is back, right? And
Hmm.
we're here to stay. We're announcing our presence with authority. So yeah, congratulations to the New York Knicks because this is a monumental generational run, the kind that people will talk about for years and years to come,
Yep,
and not
just got to
just
finish it.
because it's New York.
If they can finish the deal,
Yeah,
it will.
job's
I
not
mean,
done.
it's not. It'll be pretty. I mean, like you said, monumental,
Mhm.
amazing if they're able to win the whole thing.
Yes,
Moving on to our three strikes. Kamlo, hit the button.
we will hit the button now. That's one. Well, keeping with the playoff theme, let's talk some NHL, right? Because we are in the conference finals for the NHL, and right now you have a you have a very good series, and you have another series that's going the way of the Knicks and the Cavs. To start with, let's start with the statement, right? The team that everyone had penciled in as the de facto Western Conference representative, the Colorado Avalanche are slumping in a big way because of key absences, most notably Cale Makar has not really been present, and the Vegas Golden Knights have jumped out to a very quick 3-0 lead in the series, and they look to close it out tonight in Vegas. That game is actually getting ready to drop the puck right now. So by the end of this pod, we could have a Western Conference champion, or we could see the series swinging back to Colorado for a game 5. If you're Nathan McKinnon and Gabriel Landeskog, you got it's time to nut the fuck up, right? This is a nut up game, and you can't you. It's hard to come back from 3-0, but almost impossible, but
Well,
you
first off,
can't
through
get swept.
God, all things are possible. So
Jot
jot that
that down.
down.
Jot that down. But I mean, it's Vegas for the duration or since their inception as a team, they've always felt comfortable being in that that villain role, right? I've likened them to a Baltimore Ravens type, right? Not just because of the dark, scary colors, but because of their defense first mentality. You have absolute dogs on that team, and I've talked my fair share of shit about him. You have dogs like Mark Stone who don't care if they're down 3-0 in a game. I think it was game 3. They were down, Vegas was down 3-0 going into
Yep.
the second period, and Colorado's feeling really good. And you have dogs on the other team like Mark Stone who say, these are my favorite kinds of games because they score very quickly. Going into that second period, Vegas was plus 950 to go on and win the game. You would have got your money's worth for a quick $10 bet on that team because before you know it, they go down, score one, it's 3-1. And they always say, I mean, we've heard it for as long as we've been fans of hockey, Nick, that a 2-goal lead is the worst lead in hockey because it feels like a lot, but it disappears in seconds. And Vegas goes on to win that game.
5
And
unanswered goals, I believe.
yeah, 5 unanswered goals is absolutely ridiculous. So to see Vegas kind of play the bad guy role, their defense first mentality, that we're going to come out, we're going to rough you up, we're going to bruise you up, we're going to talk our shit, and we're going to let the game do the talking. So for them to have a statement win like this, where they've just been the de facto underdogs this whole series, is truly remarkable. I mean, for a team as young as Vegas, and I mean in terms of their existence, right? They have continued to stay extremely relevant in the postseason. They're just always there, and it's not a team that you can overlook if you get them on your schedule in the postseason. In fact, it's when it's the kind of team when you see you match up against them in the postseason, you wish you played in the East.
Let's not forget who their head coach is right now.
Remind the viewers, Nick, who's their
That'd be
coach?
John Tortorella.
That'd be John Tortorella, who was playing for his every series he's playing for his job because his contract states you have a job as long as our season is still going.
Yes.
And at this point, you got to think like they might float him an offer for next season.
I mean, what I was gonna say is that like knowing him, his pedigree, and like the toughness of his team that he demands from his teams.
Yes,
I'm not surprised at all. I am not surprised. I'm surprised of like the kind of collapse that we saw from Colorado last game, but I'm not shocked of the way his teams are winning and playing right now.
No, it's so Tortorella. It is so Tortorella. Like, okay, yeah, like you can beat us, but we didn't hear no bell, so they're just gonna keep swinging and they're gonna keep coming at you. Like, it reminds me a lot of like when we did our salary cap team. Like, this team is built kind of how in like the same mindset that Stevie built his team, and that's every line is just interchangeable in the sense that like your first line is going to come out and give you the same grit, toughness, and like bruising that your fourth line is going to give you. Right? Your D pairings are going to feel like you're playing against the D1 pairing all night, and it's an awesome thing to watch. So that's a really fun thing. So we have a chance to see the Western Conference get closed out tonight. Good luck, Avalanche, because you got your work cut out for you. You got to win 4 straight. Bringing it back to the East, we have a lot more back and forth. A big back and forth series with the Montreal Canadiens and the Carolina Hurricanes. Carolina currently leads that series 2-1. And I think much like the Avalanche, I think a lot of people would have told you that the Hurricanes were your favorite to come out of the East, right? Especially American sports media. We talked at length last year around this time how we don't get to see a lot of the Canadian teams throughout the regular season. So it's up to, doing your due diligence and your homework and going through box scores and highlight reels to really understand what the Canadian teams are truly all about. And Nick, you're one of the few people who have actually done your due diligence, because I know you have the Canadiens hoisting the cup at the end of it all.
Yes, my slight advantage is that when YouTube TV locked us out of college football for those weeks, my wife and I said, "Fuck you guys, we're going to Hulu." And Hulu comes with ESPN Plus, and so I've actually been able to watch the Canadiens and the Senators and the Oilers this year. And so from watching those games with them, that's where my prediction came from, because I saw a team that had skill all levels, offensively, defensively, line depth, and goalie wise. As long as Dobish stays as well as he's playing, I was like, this team to me was like as good as any team out there that had the ability to beat these teams. And especially like we've seen here, they're getting outshot quite a bit in every game
by an insane margin.
But when you watch the games, if you
doesn't
took away it doesn't. If you took that away, like you took that stat off the screen, like you'll look up and be like 34-14, like what the hell? But if you take it off the screen, they're generating chances. They're in the danger zones, but a lot of their shots are getting blocked, and I think it's just like blocked or off the post, because it's such a consistent approach of like pushing that envelope for essentially that quote perfect shot. So instead of, and again, we've grown up learning this. It's never a bad play in the playoffs or even in the regular season. Just throw the puck at the net, right? So instead of doing that, and you saw it in Game 3 the other night on the disallowed goal because of the offsides entry, but it could have been really easy for them to just throw the puck at the net. But instead, you make that play, which was very risky by the defenders, where they had a little overlapping run, and it generated the scoring chance where they scored, right? And so you're seeing a lot of that, where if you took that stat off the screen, you wouldn't really, because again, that stat has to be a save made by the goalie, right?
Yes.
If you took that stat off the screen, you wouldn't feel like they're getting dominated, like they're just getting lucky to win. Now, I will say, the other team is having more offensive zone time than they are.
Yes.
That's evident, but it's not like, oh, you see that metric and go, oh, they're getting dominated. They're not. They're not at all. Like, that's why Game 3 went into overtime. Didn't Game 1 go to overtime?
I believe so. Let me check real quick.
I thought I'd feel
It's
like
been-
that. That's why you're seeing these close games, because
No, it did not. Canadians won Game 1 6-2.
gosh, right.
Mm-hmm.
Game 2 was close.
Game 2 and 3 both went to overtime.
Okay, and that's what I was thinking of. Right.
Mhm.
That doesn't surprise you when you watch the game. It's kind of like when you watch like pitchers pitch and you just kind of visualize the box not being there, or when they take it away, you can kind of get a sense of the pitcher's location and if they're all over the place. That's kind of what it feels like to me watching the Canadians. Is I don't feel panic. Marty St. Louis never looks panicked. The team
No.
never looks panicked, right? Because they don't give a shit that the stat line says 35 shots to 12. They're just playing their game.
Mm-hmm. You only need one chance. On the subject of your boy Dobesh, he registered another assist in Game 3. So I think he's the first goaltender, and if I heard correctly, I think he's the first goaltender since Patrick Waugh to register multiple assists in a single postseason.
It's awesome. Was
Yeah.
Waugh also with the Canadians when that happened?
I'd have to check. They didn't say. That'd be cool though, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, so all eyes on the NHL postseason. Like I said, Colorado and Vegas are underway as we record right now. And then Carolina and Montreal, I believe, will pick it up again tomorrow. Let me just double check real quick. Yeah, Wednesday, the 27th at 8 p.m. They pick it up tomorrow in Montreal. So that's
good.
strike one. You ready for strike two there, Nick?
Yep.
Let's go.
Strike two. Right. So for strike two, I'm going to go with the biggest day in racing, which was this past Sunday, Memorial Day Sunday, where you have the Indy 500 and the Coca-Cola 600. Traditionally, you also had Monaco. The Monaco Grand Prix would have, like, you really used to be able to wake up Monaco Grand Prix, Indy 500, Coke 600, and all, like, the whole day. Found out this is the first year ever that they're racing Monaco. It's either next week or the week after, which is interesting that they made that switch. I think a lot of it had to do with not wanting to compete with Indy, to be honest.
Yeah.
But so we saw the Indy 500. You saw the closest finish in Indianapolis 500 history as Felix Rosenqvist, who had never won a race on an oval track before. Let's say that again. He'd never won a race on a traditional oval track, like circular track.
That's unreal.
Ever. He won the biggest one out there. He edged David Malukas by 0.0233 seconds, passed him on the home straightaway. So, it wasn't like, oh, he's here. Literally, he makes this huge run, gets him to come back down and go above him, wins by 0.233 seconds. And to put that in perspective, scientists say that it takes the human brain 0.02 seconds to react to visual stimuli. So literally, like the blink of an eye, he won by, which is crazy. Again, for a dude who's never won on an oval.
No.
Never won on an oval. A guy I was reading about whose career seemed like it was done. He came up like young buck. He's 34 now, but we're talking probably 6 or so years ago. So mid-20s. Looked like the next big thing. And, wound up switching several different teams. It's got lucky that a team gave him essentially a flyer this year, and he won.
It's like the equivalent of like a emergency quarterback coming in for the Super Bowl type thing. Like it's
Frank Reich.
You're coming in on the
that
biggest
game for the Bills.
Yeah, you're coming in on the biggest stage imaginable, and you win. That's it. That's absolutely nuts.
Well, the craziest thing to me is he's never won on an oval track.
Yeah.
Any of his victories that he's had have been on road courses. So it's that makes it even better.
Completely different animal. Yeah.
Yes. Now, and then the Coca-Cola 600, which almost always takes place Concord, North Carolina, or Concord. It's outside Charlotte Motor Speedway. Daniel Suarez became the first Mexican-born driver to win the Coke 600 in a range-shortened race. It was his third Cup Series victory, first since 2024, but it was his first crown jewel win. So NASCAR, I think it's 4 races are crown jewel races. You have the Coca-Cola 600, you have the Daytona 500, obviously. You have the Brickyard 400, also taking place at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And then the other one is Darlington. And I think that the name of it
So
changed.
it's like the equivalent to a golf major.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So good for Daniel Suarez there. But the other thing I want to bring up racing wise is the loss of Kyle Busch.
Yeah.
So he passed away at age 41, has a wife, 2 children. His oldest, I think, is 11 years old. Again, 41, which is not old. It happened so quick. And I saw Denny Hamlin, Richmond, Chester native, excuse me, said something to the effect of like NASCAR lost their Kobe Bryant. And I feel like for a lot of people, they would hear that and like would fly blasphemy. They'd want to, keyboard warrior it. But when you think about it, Denny Hamlin's comparison is extraordinarily apt, right? Both Bush and Kobe broke into the highest level very young, like literally at the minimum age you could break into. Like I believe Kyle Busch's like first race was 16. They had to change a rule to make sure that you had to be 18
Oh my
to
God.
enter, right? So they're both breaking into the highest level of sport at the youngest you can. Both of them, for their first like decade of professional career, were seen as the villain, right? And again, it's hard, with Kobe and everything. We see, we'll remember at the end the same thing with Kyle Busch, but we do have to remember all the stuff at the end. Like Kobe was the villain. He's like arrogant. He's brash. He's the whole Shaq feud and all feud or whatever it was. All these things, right? He was painted as the villain, and he said, "I don't care." The same way Kyle Busch was getting in fights in pit row and all these things, and I don't care this, and this, right? Immense talent, gets that villain moniker. But just like Kobe, we saw a maturation in a development in his life. Almost like a turning the corner, changing, like him getting married and having his kids and his family. And yes, the competitive spirit was still there. He's still the type of guy like Kobe, where if I've got one shot to take, I want Kobe taking the shot.
Yeah.
If I've got a restart with 5 laps left, I want Kyle Busch behind the wheel of the car. Right, not caring about optics or this or that or shooting percentages. Right, if I'm just looking to win the race, I want that. Kyle Busch has the most wins of anyone ever in the top 3 series of NASCAR combined. That's the Craftsman Truck Series, where he was an owner of a team. He actually used to be Daniel Suarez's owner when Daniel Suarez was in the Truck Series. The O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, which used to be like the Nationwide Series, it's what AAA is to, NASCAR, and then obviously the Cup Series, right? No one has more wins combined in all 3 of those series. I believe he's also the all-time wins leader in the Truck Series and the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. The man had just won in the Truck Series the last race they did in Dover. So when you compare to like the shock of the passing, it's very similar in that sense that I remember when I heard someone told me Kobe had died, I was like, "What? Is this some like bit?" I literally said that. Is this a bit, like one of those like
it felt like one of those
things?
like, oh, the internet's memeing and the internet killed him type thing.
Yes, or like
I said this.
go.
I said the same thing.
I was like, "What are you talking about? This is some stupid TikTok or whatever thing. We just asked
Kobe
someone
Bryant.
that, and like, no, he did." And then you go, "Oh my God, I did it." They had a similar reaction to seeing the Kyle Busch news of what? I just
couldn't
watched
believe
this
it.
guy win.
I have a couple of friends who are super, super into NASCAR, and I couldn't believe it. And so, but like I'm not that plugged into NASCAR or like just racing in general. So I texted one of my buddies and I said, "Hey, are you hearing that Kyle Busch just passed away?" And he sent me his one thing he sent back was, I can't believe it. Was he was in awe. He just did, like the same way that like for basketball fans and just competitive sports fans in general, how they felt when the news about Kobe and his daughter broke. I think that's exactly how it hit the racing world. That it's just no way. We just watched this guy win. He's not old. He's 41, and it's just one in everyone to the like best of everyone's knowledge was he was healthy, right? He was planning to race this weekend.
Yeah.
It shattered minds and just broke hearts, and it's just one of those things where you can't believe it. Like I'm sure for a lot of fans, especially for a lot of like Childress racing fans, like they probably are still in shock. It doesn't
Yeah.
feel real. Is with
No, it does.
how quickly that story developed.
Yes. Yes. You're right. It's crazy. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't make sense. It puts you at a loss for words. How many like NASCAR experts were essentially like at losses for words of like I don't know what to say.
People
Right?
didn't
Even the
think they were going
drivers
to
that
race this weekend.
yeah, I mean it. But the thing is though, knowing the type of racer is what Kyle Busch was, right? The
Mm-hmm.
type of person he was, he would have been upset if they didn't race.
100%.
Right? One thing I thought was very, very cool. I just learned. Richard Childress Racing, they have temporarily retired Kyle Busch's number 8 car. And they said, we're holding number 8. It's temporarily retired. It will be available when his son Brexton becomes of age to drive a car and makes our team. He will get number 8,
That's pretty
which
cool.
is very cool.
Yeah,
Like that's the type of thing you get like,
that's
chill bumps or
classy.
whatever.
That's so classy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh, okay, that's very cool. Right.
Mhm.
So again, just put kind of a damper on
A huge racing weekend.
a huge, yeah, exactly, right. But at the same time, it allowed all sorts of racing fans all over the world to remember Kyle Busch, the racer, and remember the skill with which he drove his car,
Yeah.
even if he didn't like it. Because another comparison to him is Dale Earnhardt Sr.
Also
where-
raced for Childress.
Yeah, where a lot of stuff that he did, people did not like. But as the
Mhm.
years went on, they started to appreciate so much of his winning and like the fact that it was unapologetic, but also the fact that there was that maturation. There's like a turning point where he met the sweet spot
Mm-hmm.
of being, pain in the ass versus being badass, right?
Yeah.
And that's what so I mean, Kyle Busch, 2-time Cup Series champion, right? Like a dude who accomplished it all. And I mean, always similar to Dale Earnhardt, passed in such a sudden way, obviously different, but sudden
Yeah.
that you didn't have time to process it, and you
Yeah.
still don't. So I thought that was worth mentioning as well.
Yeah.
Komlo, hit the button for the third strike, honorary strike.
That's 3.
So got this one. This one goes to the world of college lacrosse. Right, it was championship weekend, which always falls on Memorial Day.
Yeah.
So much so that it's a big deal in the lacrosse world that the PLL didn't, I believe the WLL, they didn't play games this weekend. They made like a little bye week.
Mm-hmm.
So all the focus lacrosse-wise was on the college championships, right? So on the men's side, Princeton, they won their first national men's lacrosse title since 2001 with a 16-9 win over Notre Dame. The Tigers playing in their program's 9th championship game, but their first since 2002. Ended the season on a 12-game win streak to finish 17-2. Princeton is now 7-2 in title games, with the 8 other appearances happening between 92 and 2002. So, like, you talk about like sleeping giant type of things. They had their dominant run, essentially 8 championships, whatever that is, 10, 11 years. And for them to get back again, they were the number 1 seed, demolished Notre Dame 16-9. It put that more in
watched
perspective.
A little bit of that game, and like we talk about some people just having a dog in them and wanting it more. It felt like Princeton wanted that game more. I mean, there were so many sequences like where they're on defense, like everyone is throwing themselves on the turf at loose balls and like just giving every single series, every single possession 100%. It was really truly inspiring stuff to watch. It was insane to like just see like how dominant this Princeton team was. That was a fun watch.
Yeah. That Princeton was down 3-0 to start the game. And then they rattled off.
Was it 11?
11. The next 11 goals going into halftime. So they were up 11-3 at halftime. They were down 3-0, then just go, fuck you. Put the hammer down.
Yeah.
11. And at that point, it's like, it's over.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you could come back, but, it was like the Knicks type of thing. 11 straight goals, which is unheard of.
That was wild to witness. But like, again, there were so many clips. Like I watched a good bit of that game and I think I turned it off at halftime and then flipped it back on to see the end of it because I wanted to see him close it out.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, there were it just felt like yeah, okay, never mind. We woke up, we're here, we're just gonna turn it on and just absolutely just dust the Fighting Irish here. I mean, that was
Kicking
something to
names
behold.
and taking ass. That's what
Yeah,
they were doing.
100. That's exactly what it was. Kicking names and taking ass. Insane win by Princeton there. That was nuts.
Now, what is also kind of crazy is Notre Dame lost 3 games all year. The first one was at UVA,
Mm-hmm.
right? The second one was to UVA in the ACC tournament in Charlotte, or I believe is where they're playing.
Mm-hmm.
And their third loss is to Princeton in the championship, which was played at UVA Scott Stadium, their football stadium. So if it weren't for fucking UVA, Notre Dame would be hoisting the trophy, basically.
That's a super healthy way to rationalize it.
Right? That's how it works.
Yeah.
Duh.
Gosh, that was I mean, yeah, congratulations to Princeton. But yeah, after a performance like that, it's almost like we're, the sleeping giant is now awake and we're just going to dominate this all over again. Like that was a statement win.
Yeah, and
To
I
win
think
like that in the championship, like, oh my God.
and I think I forget if they said that Princeton's returning a lot of guys, or one of the reasons they were so good is they return a lot of guys. But one thing they brought up, which is very interesting, is in today's transfer portal, right? I mean, it's like the biggest thing that's talked about.
Yeah.
Transfer portal NIL.
Yes.
The Ivy League teams are not having guys transfer out or come in with regularity. And I think one reason is
Really?
I think one reason is they don't really take transfers. Like it may be a zero transfer policy, or like one of those where it's extremely rare that they would take a transfer. And so the other reason is that, especially a sport like lacrosse, where you don't have the same football money. So like if a guy is there and good, it's not like, oh, Ohio State just offered him $6 million. Of course, he'd be dumb not to take it. You don't have that, and the money out there, the Ivy League schools could stack up with in terms of lacrosse money that they have. So there's no incentive for a guy to leave these schools, and they're not taking people on because of that. So
Yeah.
a lot of these Ivy League schools have built the culture where they still have
capacity.
programs.
We're at capacity, sir.
Well, we are white trash. Well, yeah, he didn't know that.
Dude, tell me that's not like the in that episode of Sunny in particular, like that pool is the Ivy League. Like we're at capacity, sir.
Yeah. Yes. But yeah, so they're building these programs and these cultures that you're not seeing in other places because of the prevalence of the transfer portal and all these types of things. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
That was pretty cool.
On the women's side, Northwestern, they defeated UNC 14-11 to capture the program's 9th national title after back-to-back runner-up finishes, including losing to UNC last year in the title game. Northwestern became the first team since Maryland in 1986 to win the Natty on their home field. So the men's took place this year in Charlottesville. The women's took place at Northwestern in Evanston, Illinois. The Wildcats outscored the Tar Heels 5-0 in the fourth quarter, and are the only team to beat UNC this season, having previously defeated them 17-16 in OT on March 25th in Chapel Hill. So interesting kind of stuff there, right? The two teams that lost, men's and women's, you're right. Again, if it weren't for UVA, Notre Dame doesn't lose a game. If it weren't for Northwestern, UNC doesn't lose a game. Very kind of, I don't know, not coincidence things, but just
an interesting
it's sports.
juxtaposition.
It's sports. Yeah, it's sports is really what it is.
Did you see who was in attendance at that UNC Northwestern game? Steelers draft pick, Mr. Heidenreich.
Really?
His girlfriend plays lacrosse for UNC.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that was kind of cool to see that. Just a little fun factoid. It's cool to see Heidenreich out and about before taking his station. Because he does have mandatory time to serve in the military now.
Yes. Well, you bring that up, right? This all happens Memorial Day weekend, types of things. And you're right, he's going to be serving the military in some capacity, I'm sure, right now. You know, who else is also doing this is one of the best players on Notre Dame men's team, Josh Yago, I believe was his name. He's an active duty Space Force serviceman.
What?
Yes. He went to the Air Force Academy, I believe, is a grad transfer at Notre Dame. And I believe because of that, right, he's active duty Space Force. Very similar when we talked about Jake Merrick, the UVA goalie who went to the Air Force Academy, transferred to UVA, but like was at UVA because he's trained to be like a special ops medic and just happened to like essentially walk on the team. Josh Yago, though, has been one of the best players on Notre Dame all year. I believe he is currently
that's
active
pretty
duty
cool.
Space Force. Yeah.
Wow. I think
So
that might be the first time that that sentence might have ever been uttered.
yes. Isn't that wild, right? So I thought that was worth mentioning, especially because even though the result in the game wasn't what he wanted, he got to play that game on Memorial Day as they do a flyover,
Yeah,
right?
that
And
is
he's
cool.
right, an active duty member of the military gets to play in the championship game on Memorial Day. That's as cool as you get without winning the game, obviously,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
But
because I mean
still,
we've talked about it before, especially around like Army Navy weekends. You know, like these games are like they're the biggest sports games that a lot of these guys will play. So to be able to do that, you know, as an active duty member on Memorial Day weekend, like that might be the biggest game you ever get to play in. And it's on to much bigger and better and more impactful things, but still like you'll look back and remember the bowl game you got to play in, remember the Army Navy game you got to play in, remember the Memorial Day weekend game you got to play in. Like that's stuff that'll sit with you for the rest of your life.
yeah, yeah. Anything else before we move on to what to look for?
No?
Right. That's going to bring us to our final segment, our What to Look For segment, brought to you as always by BB Cookie Co. Looking for the perfect way to stand out at the next event you are hosting? Well, custom cookies are a timeless way to have everyone still buzzing even after they leave. Look no further for your cookie needs than BB Cookie Co. Follow them on Instagram at BB Cookie Co. and message them to order yours today. Whether it is a bridal shower, birthday, engagement, or baby shower, their team will work with you to make all your cookie dreams come true. BB Cookie Co. for the sweetest moments. Kamala?
You know, you're usually the B-sides guy of what to look for. So I'm going to keep it very mainstream, right? Let's keep an eye on the NHL playoffs, right? Like I said, Vegas has a chance to close out the Western Conference and advance to the Stanley Cup Finals tonight, and we have Carolina and Montreal continuing their battle. That series could very well wrap up within the next week, and then keep an eye out to look for to see who the Knicks are going to be playing in the finals, right? That SGA and the Thunder versus Wemby and the Spurs series is awesome to watch, right? That's very much a clash of the Titans, so keep an eye on that. And that's really what I'm going to be looking for in the coming week.
Like it. So tennis-wise, the French Open got underway on Sunday. So over the weekend, you're heading into week 2 of tennis's second Grand Slam or second major, whatever you want to call it. So already been some fun stuff there. Some great competitive matches. So keep an eye on that. Soccer wise, here I got one for you. USA versus Senegal, friendly, men's US team, friendly on Sunday at 3:30 p.m. I believe in Charlotte. That's going to be a good litmus test.
It's a
Senegal
friendly,
is
but
good.
make no mistakes. This is a tune-up. It's got to
Yes.
be treated as a tune-up. The starters need to show up for this because
Yes.
we're 2 weeks away from the World Cup opening up.
Yeah, and I believe our other friendly or our other tune-up is against Germany, I think.
Yeah,
So these are two
very big tests.
and very, very good teams. So it'll be interesting to see how the U.S. team comes out for this game. Like you said, the result may technically not matter, but it does, right? Because of
Everyone's
like what
watching you as the host.
yes, and in things you documented before about the shortcomings of U.S. men's soccer recently, that this is a game that you should be looking at and be like, let's see what they can do. But in the past has been a 2-1 Senegal win, right? And again, don't take anything away from Senegal. They're
Great
really
team.
good.
Great
Sadio
team.
Mane, one of the best goal scorers in the world out there. So
Fast as
this
hell,
is a
too.
great test for them. The Germany game, whatever that is, that will be a great test to see where they're at heading into, like you said, the World Cup you're hosting. Right? Here, PLL wise, just for our boy Michael Rexroth, you have a rematch of last year's PLL title game The New York Atlas will take on the Denver Outlaws this Saturday at 1 p.m. on ABC, so be on the lookout for that.
Oh, heck yeah.
And then college baseball, this is for the boy, right? So the college baseball postseason, or the Road to Omaha, whatever the hell you want to call it, the tournament, that starts on Friday. So my UVA Wahoos, they will play Jacksonville State, the alma mater, I believe, of one Riley Green, not the Tigers outfielder, but the country music singer. They'll play in the Hattiesburg Regional, which I believe would be Southern Miss as the number 1 seed there. And then the boys, West by God Virginia Mountaineers, they are the 16th overall national seed, meaning they are hosting a regional for the first time since 2019. They'll start their postseason campaign against the Fighting Tony Kornizers in Binghamton, the Bearcats. Right, so
let's go.
That was worth mentioning. Yes, and the Morgantown Regional, as crazy as that is to say, the Morgantown Regional.
Okay, I like that.
Anything else before we wrap this up?
No. Let's
So
wrap
that's
it
going
up.
to do it for us here at What Caught My Eye, or WCME Sports. For the boy, Stephen Veschi, who is now officially on paternity leave, the man, Stephen Komlo, I am the coach, Nick Veschi. Reminding you to follow us on all of our social media. That's on X, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, TikTok, Snapchat, and Threads at WCME_sports. And don't forget, be decent to each other. Have a good one, and we will see you next time. Take care, Guatemala.